Again, like I said, it doesn't make sense to this one person that did a blog about it, who's a PlayStation 3 owner. They said basically that for certain aspects of the game, like with cloud storage, the cloud storage is a little bigger than the Xbox one, so I'll give them credit on that. But still, it says that you can't save as much. And if you use the cloud storage on that, you're bound to lose a lot of your gigabyte space. You know, to me, I think they weren't paying attention here, because in the past, I used to be able to save an entire game, save up to I don't know how many characters, if not a whole roster, on one memory card. Nothing ever messed up. There was no reason for a hard drive at the time. No reason at all. I mean, heck, even when I got the hard drive, I still did two things, and it wasn't no big deal. So again, it makes me wonder if perhaps this all has to do with the financial problems, because you think someone would look at this and be like, well, wait a minute, the creator characters shouldn't be that big. You know, they should be small. The files should be small. Honestly, I don't get it. I mean, yeah, there's 3D rendering and all that, but I still don't get it. They were never this big in other previous games. You know, so it makes you wonder, it makes you think, why in the world does this happen? And again, does it have anything to do with the THQ problems that they had, the financial problems they had? I think in some way it did. Because I think a lot of people, instead of focusing on the game, were focusing on THQ's problems. Now I know you're thinking, well, Ukes were the ones making the games. Yeah, Ukes was, but Ukes was associated with THQ, so you know their eyes were on that. And THQ usually has the final say. They usually look things over to make sure there's no glitches, there's no bugs, there's nothing before they send it, before they finalize it and release it. And I'm sure 2K or Take-Two is going to make sure nothing's wrong with the games either when they release them, so they'll be like, okay. They'll be like, well, you guys need to fix that first. And please make sure the server's working correctly. I'm pretty sure they're going to look at all the mistakes that have happened. They're going to say, that needs to be fixed before we release this. So to me, all honesty, THQ, to me, THQ's financial problems, in my opinion, probably were the reason WWE'13 and probably several other games have had their problems. But again, if you know your company is in trouble, if you know your company's in trouble, you shouldn't be publishing the games this year. You should be probably start selling the licenses off, so at least you can have the money to save, have the money from those sales to try to save your business. But they didn't do that. They waited till recently to say, okay, we're going right into debt. We're done. You know, and again, I'm not the only person dealing with these problems. I'm not the only owner of this game that's dealing with these problems. The only saving grace right now is cloud storage for some odd reason. And again, like I said, yeah, the only problem with that is you have to probably unplug your console and then plug it back in. But again, you know, I love the WWE series, I do, and I hope 2K, Take-Two does a great job with it, I really do. But to me, if you're going to release a game, you got to make sure your focus is on that game and not on any other problems. You got to make sure of that. You got to make sure there's no bugs, there's no glitches, well maybe a few, but not as much. You got to make sure your server is working right, and you got to make sure there's no load failures at all. I mean, and also if you want to, you got to make sure that whoever uploads something and say community creations, that they make sure that whoever's in charge of the server and everything, that you put something into the game or so on the server that kind of detects whether or not that file is corrupted or not. So that you can say, oh, can't do it because it's a corrupted file. I mean, the Off the Rope show, when they uploaded the live reactions to the Royal Rumble this year, their reaction video to Rock and Punk wouldn't upload because something was wrong with the file. It was corrupted. So they couldn't do it. Basically, the computer was saying, I can't upload this because it's corrupted. Same with this. They should have something on the games, on the disc, or something that basically detects whether a file is corrupted or not. So that when you try to upload it, it'll be like, sorry, I can't upload it, it's corrupted. So that when those that, in my opinion, want to put hacked stuff in there or corrupted stuff in there just to mess with people, they'll be like, oh crap, we can't do that anymore. Get what I'm saying? Again, if THQ was going to release this game and make it one of the last games ever, they should have done it primarily after everything was checked out. They should have put more focus into the game instead of focusing on what was going on with the financial problems. And those associated with them should have done the same thing. And if not, you should have started selling your licenses off back then, before, just recently. Again, the only saving grace here is cloud storage for people like me. But even that's not probably going to last long. So here's my thought to each and every one. So here's my thought on this. THQ has no one to blame but themselves for what's happened. They have no one else but to blame for themselves because of what's happened with the WWE'13 WWE series in recent years. They have no one else but to blame for any problems that might have been in Saints Row or Assassin's Creed or whatever other game series they published. They have no one else to blame but themselves. And if they feel that's wrong, they can't do anything about it because THQ's no more, man. But if they would have put more focus into the games instead of the financial problems, they wouldn't have a lot of backlash from a lot of fans. They wouldn't have had, with WWE'12, to keep coming on the message board during the when you would go online to try to go to community creations or whatever. They wouldn't be telling you in that little message board, oh, we're working on this, we're working on that, we're working on this, we're working on that. They wouldn't have had to do that. Look, I know THQ did the best they can. But the thing is, they put too much focus recently on the financial situation instead of having the partners and the developers and everything put focus on what should have been focused on, and that's the game. So again, I asked the question, WWE'13 victim of THQ financial problems? You decide. Sorry this being in 2 parts, only got a 15-minute limit. Let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to you later.